What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, Actualized AF, where we talk all things designing a life you love. And today I'm going to show you my calendar that I've been using for the past few months to help me stay on track and get things done and prioritize my goals for my life. So in my last video, I gave you a little bit of context on how I came up with this plan and some of the things that I took into consideration to make this calendar. In this video, I'm going to actually share my calendar with you and share 4 things that I include in this calendar that were game changers for me to actually follow this calendar and get things done. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, because we are building a whole community of people who are getting things done, working to their goals, and designing lives they love. Let's get into it. So as you can see, I use Google Sheets for my calendar. Even though I can design a calendar on Google Calendars or on a desktop calendar or on my planner, I've used Google Sheets since 2017, and it has helped me because I can make it interactive and I can check in with this system daily and weekly to make sure that I stay on track. Let me give you an overview of this calendar before I get into the nitty-gritty. I designed this 12-week system to implement goals throughout the year as opposed to tackling all of the goals that I have for the entire year. And I do this because I read the book, The 12-Week Year, and it is an amazing summary of why you need to set goals for 12 weeks instead of yearly. Basically, the author states that if you chunk one big goal into smaller goals or 12-week goals, they're more attainable and you can get more done because you're more focused and you basically prioritize what you need to do because of the shorter time frame instead of thinking that you have all the time in the world and you've got a year to do everything. And then by November, you realize that you haven't done anything and you didn't reach your goal. Well, if you break it down into 12 weeks, you get more done. What I do is I make a weekly plan. I broke this calendar down for Monday through Sunday. So I'm not documenting what I should do January, February, March, April, May. No, let's stick to each week and let's get things done weekly. So what I do next is I have a template of this weekly plan. This tab is basically my master template where I just have a clean copy of my calendar. So when each week starts, I basically just make a copy. Okay, I'm duplicating at the bottom in the tabs here. I'm going to duplicate the template. Then I rename that sheet to the week that I'm on. So for example, I might be in week 1 of 12. Once it's week 2, I just make another copy of this template. And then I say week 2, 1, 8, for example. But I'm going to delete these for now, just so I can show you around my calendar. I'm going to give you an overview of some things that I included in this calendar to make sure that I include the weekly priorities and I'm reminded to actually do things. So the 4 things that I make sure that I include in my calendar are focus areas assigned to each day, time blocks to make sure that I'm getting everything done within 1 day's time, a habit tracker to track the general goals, the health habits, to be able to even do these micro tasks. And last but not least, I scheduled out all the tasks that I know that I want to do. So up in the top corner, you'll see the week number. So that just matches the bottom number. So I'd write week 1 and then 3 different goals that I have for the week. And I just list them up here so that once I open this document, I can easily see it and I'm reminded of the top priorities for the week. So just as an example, I might say film, YouTube, video, send contract, and I might say respond to brands email. These are just examples. You can put any priority goals in these 3 boxes so that you're instantly reminded when you open this document of what you got to do. Next, I write in the people that I need to check in with. So if you remember from my last video of all the considerations you need to make when you're making your plan and you want to actually get things done, it's checking in with your community members and your tribe and the people who you know are going to support you. So who do you need to check in with this week, either professionally or personally, to update them on your progress, make sure you stay on track? Who is that person or people? And what I do is I write them here. So for example, I might need to contact my old professor. Professor Brennan. And this is actually one of my old professors from Harvard, so I do need to contact her again. Who is someone who you need to make sure you reach out to this week? Again, when you open up this document, instantly reminded that you got to check in with your professor or your mother or your auntie or your cousin or someone you need to reach out to on LinkedIn who you've been scared to reach out to for a little bit of time. And now is the time. So I like doing this too, because a lot of times we might be scared to reach out to people or bring people into our tribe to help support us even more. It's a good way to write down the person's name who you want to reach out to, hold yourself accountable, and continue to remind yourself, oh, I haven't done that. I also included a countdown here, and this could be a countdown for any major event that's happening in your life. Maybe you're training for a marathon. And you need to write how many weeks you have left here. Maybe you're planning an event and you need to write down how many weeks are left. So go ahead and write down 5 weeks left. Now, the easy way out would have been for me to automate this cell and for Google Sheets to have told me automatically how many weeks left there are to an event. I want to make this more interactive than automated because I want to actually type out the words 5 weeks left to remind myself that there are 5 weeks left and I need to get my butt up and do something. Sometimes automation can be helpful to take tasks off of your hands, but when you're already struggling to do the tasks that are on your hands, it might be helpful to remind yourself that, hey, I actually need to do something and I actually need to put in the work in order to get the results that I want. So for me personally, it's always helped to write things out and interact with the things that I need to get done. Next up, I have a cell for book. Now, my goal in 2024 is to read at least 1 book a month. So, for example, right now I'm reading Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. So I'm just going to write that in here. Next, I have a cells for my workout. I do this so that I can remember my workout splits or my training program that I've designed for myself. Each of these workouts corresponds to the day of the week that falls under it. A lot of times we might not do our workouts because it's just too difficult of a plan to follow or just too much. I like doing this because it makes it simple. The point is that you have a weekly routine that you follow each week and you know exactly what to expect for your workout splits Monday through Friday or Monday through Sunday, however you work out, but I'm working out Monday through Saturday. So under my workouts, this is the bread and butter. I assign a focus area to each day of the week. I do this so that I can prioritize the top things that I need to do for my business in order to make it a holistic business and make sure that I'm doing everything. For example, on Mondays, I focus on strategy. On Tuesdays, I focus on making new content. Wednesdays, pitching. Thursdays, scheduling out content. And Fridays, I focus on Amazon shopping and basically sharing any affiliate links that I have. I decided to take Saturday and Sunday off for my own mental health so that I don't burn myself out on something that I love to do, which is business. So I left these as my overflow days, just in case I need to work on anything that I have to get done. I'm leaving it for Saturday and Sunday. But I'm not necessarily scheduling anything for Saturday and Sunday because I don't want to get burnt out. So this isn't strict, but it is a guide for me to follow so that I can live a life where I'm focused on business. I'm doing the things that I need to do for business, but I'm also giving myself time to be a human. So I included time blocks in my calendar. And this was super important for me because I like to section out my day so that I can transition from maybe relaxed flow in the morning to a creative flow in the early afternoon to more of a business flow in the late afternoon, and then to a human flow, just live life flow in the evenings. So I needed to actually block this time off, and I wrote it on the left side here. Personally, for me, in the mornings, I'm thinking more administratively, and then towards the end of the mornings and into the early afternoons, I'm thinking more creatively. So I sectioned off time in my calendar to not go against my natural state of life. So if I know that I'm more administrative and then creative in the morning times, then that's when I'm going to schedule all the things for administration and creativity in the morning time. What's in is accepting who you are as a person and realizing, hey, I do this my way. I've always been this person. I highly doubt that I'm going to change. So let me just work it into a schedule so I don't keep procrastinating or not getting things done. The last thing I include on my calendar is a habit tracker. And I do this with only 3 main habits. If I include too many habits, it's overwhelming and I just don't end up using the habit tracker that is supposed to track your habits. It's counterproductive to include too many habits in your habit tracker. So basically what I do is I just put 3 habits into my habit tracker that are the main things that I need to do to function as a human being, as opposed to things that I need to do for business. So for example, I'm not going to put anything in my habit tracker that has to do with these priorities up here. What I put in my habit tracker is read 10 pages a day, do a 1-mile run, and then do a 30-minute incline walk. So these are things that I can just check off, and then we're done. So the last thing, I mentioned that my calendar is interactive. That means that I'm able to check things off as I go throughout the day and constantly remind myself if I'm staying on task or if I need to readjust some things in my schedule to make sure that I do the things that I said that I wanted to get done. Let's just take Monday as an example. It's Monday and it's 9 a.m. I just finished cleaning and I just finished my personal development and my skincare. By personal development, I mean I read 10 pages and maybe did a little meditation. So what I do is I highlight these 2 cells and I go up here to the colors and I customize the color of the cell to this bright green, which is my favorite color, neon green. And as I go throughout my day and finish doing things, I continue to highlight the cells, and then by the end of the day, I should have a whole column that is colored so that I know what I got done and what I need to maybe focus on for the next day or maybe move around to another day because I honestly might not have time for it in one day's time. This is a good time tracker and time management strategy as well. Then once I'm done with the habits, I just check them off and then I go on to Tuesday. And by the end of the week, all of this should be colored out like this. Now, of course, there are going to be some days where some of these cells are white and we didn't get anything done. Well, this gives us information telling us, well, maybe I actually don't like to film on Tuesdays. Maybe I actually don't like to film in the AM. Maybe I need to film in the PM because that's when I'm actually more awake and I can function on camera. The highlights of the calendar is actually feedback. What am I doing right? What could be done differently? And how can I improve for next week? And then next week, what do? Make a template or change the template according to the feedback that we got from the week before, copy it over and go at it again with another week of priorities, routines, habits, and holding yourself accountable and interacting with your goals in a tangible way in order for you to get things done and move toward your goals. This calendar is available in my Goal Getter Guide, which I linked below. My Goal Getter Guide is a 26-page guide with 15 exercises to help you visualize, design, and create a life you love. Let me know in the comments if you tried the 12-week plan for yourself and how that has worked out for you. And also let me know if you try out the focus areas, the routine tracker, the time blocks, and the scheduled tasks that I include in my calendar. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend that I'm on YouTube and we are out here getting things done. Thanks so much for watching and stay actualized.